fingernail scratches and key scratches around this Mercedes door here. The handle, it's got severe scratches inside there, but not a problem. So we're going to do a spot clean. We'll just get all the road grit out of here. It's the great thing about the Ultimate Car Scratch Remover system. You don't have to wash the whole car just to do an isolated scratch. It saves a lot of time. Okay. Now next we've got the blue microfiber towel, totally bits and scratch remover. Give it a little shake. And for this area right here, I'm going to use about that much, about a dime size amount. Just going back and forth motions. And you want to work this entire area uniformly. Totally bits and scratch remover is a diminishing style formula. That means it starts out at one more aggressive grit and then slowly breaks down with pressure into finer and finer particles, so you get a super shiny finish. So you can remove heavy scratches and then end up polishing, so you don't get that haze that you get with old-fashioned rubbing compounds and polishing compounds from the olden days. This stuff is cutting edge. Use a clean area, buff the residue off. Okay, now that got it pretty good. Now I wanted to take a look at this first because this car is pretty abused and these scratches are pretty deep. So I'm thinking we're going to try the safety sand, but you always want to try the totally bits and scratch remover first, just to make sure. You never want to jump into the safety sand first off, so you just want to see what happens. And so this looks pretty good, but I think we're going to use the safety sand on it. Now since we've got that polish residue on there, just want to hit it with some awesome blue and the white microfiber towel to get any of the polish residue off here. You don't want to grind that into the paint. Also, the safety sand abrasive is so fine that those particles can actually load up and clog up the paper and make it less effective. Okay, so this is ready to go. Now you want to use the safety sand with a purple glide. It needs a lubricant, and this is a wet and dry paper. It's actually a 3500 grit. So we're just going to do in small sections 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. And then we're going to move across here 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. And you want to try and not hit plastic like door handles like this. If possible, maybe even tape these off just so you don't hit them with the safety sand. Alright, so you can see here that the safety sand just perfectly burnished this area, so it's nice. All those key scratches from a loose keychain are all gone, so now we're going to polish this out. So grab the blue microfiber towel and totally bits and scratch remover. Give it a little shake. Find a fresh spot on the towel, dime size amount. And what we're going to do now is we're not going to try, well, we can, I'm going to do half of this area first. It's more effective to work in a smaller area and then move along a scratch rather than trying to do a real large area. Like I said, it's a diminishing style polish. If you try and do too big of an area, the polish won't be effective and you'll just have to come back and do another application. You might have to use your fingers to get up next to this door handle. You get a finger in there so you can get it up tight to there. Wipe the residue off. Okay, what I've done, I've taped up this handle, and just so that I don't nick it, you could actually polish out this plastic handle with this, but for the time being, I just taped it off real fast. So we're going to use our safety sand and the purple glide, and it's going to be a little bit tricky. So I actually have this kind of helps if you can kind of squish it down so you can move it back and forth. So that should do it. That was about maybe 10 seconds or so. So wipe the residue out. So now what we're going to do, since this is kind of a hard area to get to, we're going to try and do one side and then do the other side. And for this, I say instead of folding this towel over in quarters, take your Totally Bits and Scratch Remover and just have it like this on one side. We're going to have to finesse this a little bit. Get a little bit of polish in there. And you just go back and forth like this. And like I said, just try and do half of this door handle area, the top part. Get in there with your fingers. You can do it like 2 times, just because it's kind of difficult to get in there. We'll buff off the residue. It's looking absolutely perfect. Okay, so we're going to do the bottom half. Fortunately, the bottom half is a heck of a lot easier to do than the top. And we'll do one more application in here. Totally Bits and Scratch Remover. This door handle is going to look better than new. Probably didn't even come from the factory looking this nice. Okay, so we've removed all the scratches and this whole handle area is looking perfect. Now we're going to put the evening glass glaze on. This doesn't remove scratches. It just brings out the depth and the clarity of the paint, especially on blacks and dark metallics. It really makes the color pop. And so shake this up. And we'll do this kind of in a couple little sections. It doesn't take very much of this stuff at all. And just a real light pressure. We'll do this top area here first. And buff that area. And then we'll do the fun part here. We'll get in this handle in here. Do the lower part. grab the clean side of the microfiber and polish the residue off. Okay, so we're done with the evening glass glaze. Okay, for the last step, we're going to use Sacred Shine sealant. This is my acrylic polymer sealant. It'll last 6 to 8 months. The stuff bonds to the paint at the molecular level, so it really puts a slick, hard finish on. And it's the perfect icing on the cake for doing car scratch removal. It takes very little of this stuff. You want a super fine, thin coat. You just rub it in like this. Get a little bit more in this door handle area. Okay, and we're going to let this haze for just a few minutes. Okay, so you just take your finger and wipe it. If it comes off clean like that, ready to go, no pressure whatsoever. This stuff has got to be the easiest stuff to buff off. All right, there it is. It is done.